Well, hey everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully, you guys are having a lovely start to your week. Some may have snow, some may have rain, some just may be anticipating something. But what I do on this platform is I break down math concepts that you see most in your GED, your ASVAB, your AccuPlacer, your TEAS test, your HESI test, any kind of high school equivalency test. If it has algebra in it, this is the live for you. So as I try to break down these concepts, what I do is I just basically show you a question. It ranges from A, B, C, D, and sometimes an E. And all you have to do is just put the answer that you think it is into the chat, and then I go over it so you can get a better understanding of how to approach the problem as well as how to answer these bad boys quick and easy. So for example, what number is the cube root of 8? Is it A, 64, B, 3, C, 2, or D, negative 2? So I just want to know, what is the cube root of 8? So as you guys are coming on in, come on, say hi, plug in the answer. Let's have a little fun with this. I try to stay on for maybe like 45 minutes, close to an hour. Sometimes I'm doing this in between sessions like I am today. So go ahead, let's have some fun with some math. Let's kind of train our brain a bit. All right, so we have Jake with C, Trey saying C, Perla, I just need math just to get my GED. Oh my God. All right, well, let's go. Let's get it done. Let's make sure we're getting that work in. God asked me to what? Yes. You think it's A? Okay. I have another person that thinks it's 2. Thanks for the follow. Surprise us. Okay, me too. All right, awesome. All right, Gamble, how are you? Welcome back. Tracy, thank you so much for joining up the fan club. Now, if you guys want to join into my little club, right now it's free of charge. Just hit the heart that's right next to my name and just come on, join on in. You're actually going to have some perks coming up, so just be patient with me. All right, so let's not hold back any longer. So if we're talking the cube root is basically the inverse of something that's being raised to the third power. So we want to know what being raised to the third power is going to give me 8. So if I have to think of it, if I tried to do with a negative 2, remember, if it's to the third power, that means it's going to be something times something times something. So a negative times a negative gives me a positive. But then if I multiply that positive with the other negative, my answer is going to be negative. So it's not going to be D. And if I'm going to try to do 64 times itself 3 times, it's definitely not going to give me 8. So that's out. So now we're between B and C. So let's cut to the chase. The answer is going to be 2, because 2 times 2 gives me 4, and 4 times 2 gives me 8. So for the next one, let's see if I can get it all the way up here. And it says, which statement best describes the following inequality? Okay, so we have this. I would read it out to you, but it will kind of give you the hint. So is it A, the difference of 2 times a number and 4 is greater than 2/3? Is it B, the sum of 2 and a number is less than 2/3? Is it C, the difference of 2 times a number and 4? Let me raise this up a little bit for you guys. I think that should help. C, the difference of 2 times a number and 4 is less than 2/3, or D, the product of 2 and a number is greater than 2/3. What do you guys think? A, B, C. You love my fingers? That's weird. All right. So we have that. We have a bunch of C's. Hey, thanks, Mark. How are you? Perla saying C. P. San saying C. Mel saying C. Lima saying C. Put one side. We got C. All right. I love how you coming on my thing for Cash App. You've been praying for our Xbox? Well, then keep praying. How you doing with work? Let's go. All right. Gamble saying C. Angela, how are you? Saying C. Chris is saying C. Okay. We're worrying about Xboxes and people are getting snatched up on the street. What are you talking about? Get off my live. All right, my. I've had to scroll up. Yes, I see you now. Hi. User 37 with a C. My Mr. or sister from another is saying 2 and negative 2. Oh, okay, you're saying C. Let's see. A bunch of CCCs. Right, Angela? They're funny. All right, so your answer is going to be C. So it takes the difference. Difference means subtraction. That's what we have up here. So that's why B is not going to work because it says sum. This one does say is difference. It's difference of 2 times a number and 4 is greater than. Well, this one is saying is greater than, but looking at the inequality, that is less than. So that's why A is out. And this one says the product of 2 and the number is greater than 2/3. Well, what happened to the subtraction? D is not even mentioned in the subtraction. So your answer choice for this one is C. Okay, so they're taking a look to see if you understand what those verbs, what those words mean. All right, so now for this one. If Betty earns $20,000 and was given a raise of $6,000, what percent increase does her raise represent? Is it A, 30, B, 60, C, 6, or D, 20? Okay, so Jim is saying 30, Tom is saying A, Gamble saying C, Angela saying A. Excuse me. So, yep, you got your 1/20th, good. So we got our A, we got our A, we got our A. Giovanni, I think that's an A. As well. There we go. Oh, okay, I see the whole thing now. All right, Lima is saying A. All right. So we basically got a whole lot of this. So if we're looking at, so we're earning $20,000, okay, and then they were given a $6,000 raise. Now some people will say, what is the difference of what they're earning, what they're coming back? So if you have your 6 divided by your 20, because that's what you're doing. Even though there's like a whole bunch of zeros, ready? Although there's a whole bunch of zeros, let's kind of limit it. Let's kind of put these 3 zeros off to the side. All right? So that means we're actually looking at 6. Okay, you guys can see that. 6 out of my 20. Okay? So if I try to reduce that, that's basically like dividing. Because it is. So we have our 6. I'm going to put my 0.0. So it's going to be 6 divided by 20. So how many 20s can go into 6? Well, 0. But how many 20s can go into 60? That's 3. So that gives you exactly your 60. Since we have to bring this 0 down, we need to add this 0 up here. So 0.30 is equivalent to 60% if you multiply that by 100. Okay? All right. There we go. I don't know. Because even if I added all those extra zeros, it's just going to make things so much bigger. But if you have the 6,000 over the 20,000, you have 3 sets of zeros that you can cancel out, which will give you your 6 over 20. Okay? All right, let's take a look at this one. So we have our 214. So we're solving for M. We're taking 2/3 times 7 equals 12M. 2/3 times 7 equals 12M. In Lima, you can do that. But remember, since you got all those extra zeros, you can cancel those zeros out to make it a little bit smaller. Big G Money, how are you? So it won't have to deal with such large numbers. Okay. Okay. All right. You tired? Oh, I feel you. I feel you. Okay, no problem. All right, so I'm seeing some D's. I have an answer of D, but pretty. Okay. Hey, Shakita, how are you? Okay, pretty, I see you with the D. Angela with the B. Lovely Megs. Can we work on this problem? Yes, we will. We will. I just wanted to see what other people have before I put my 2 cents in here. Now, we're trying to solve for M. I'm actually going to use this paper. Well, I got some space here. So, if we're trying to solve for M, this is what we got. We have 2/3 times 7. Now, we know a whole number being multiplied to a fraction, put a 1 underneath it so we can make it into fractions. Okay? So now I'm looking at cross simplifying if that's possible. I have a 2 and a 1. I have a 7 and a 3. They're all at their lowest terms. So all I have to do is just multiply. 2 times 7 gives me 14. And 3 times 1 gives me 3. Right? So that's going to equal 12M. But I want to get M by itself because it says solve for M. So if I want to, it's going to be weird if I try to divide both sides by 12 because then it looks like a double-decker sandwich, right? It's just like boom, 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 and you're like, what? Where do I go? So instead of dividing by a fraction, do the opposite, which is multiply by its reciprocal. Now, all numbers, whole numbers especially, can be divisible by 1. It doesn't change the value of it, but it gives you that fraction. But what you want to multiply by is its reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 1/12. Because when I multiply this right-hand side by 1/12, 12 divided by 12 will give me 1. 1 divided by 1 will give me 1. So I have 1M. So I'm going to put it over here because I ran out of room. So I'm going to have my M. And what is my M going to equal? Well, now I need to take a look at this 1/12 times 14/3. Well, 14 and 12, that can be simplified. So they have basically 2 in common, right? So 14 divided by 2, this will change to a 7. And 12 divided by 2, that would change to a 6. So now, all I have to do is just multiply straight across. 1 times 7, well, that would give me 7. I'm going to put it over here. And 6 times 3, well, that would give me 18. So M is going to equal 7/18. So it's really getting to know that multiplication table and learning how to simplify fractions. Okay. Yep, you can do that too. You can multiply everything by 3. You can do that as well. Yep, good. All right. So that's the one thing. A lot of people, excuse me. So a lot of people will know that there's always more than one way to solve. Okay, there's always more than one way to solve. So if you're really into fractions, that would be the best thing for you. If you want to just go ahead and multiply straight across, you can. If I multiply everything by 3 and then solve it that way, you can do that way as well. But, you know, we're going to take what we can get. All right, so before we get started, can we tap up for a bit? Okay, I have to get my likes up because one, it helps other people to be like, oh yeah, this person's not a robot. So if we can do like a quick mad tap for, see if we can get to 5K, that will be amazing. I know I usually try not to do this based off of time, but you know, I keep getting these weird messages from TikTok acting like they're ready to delete my account. I don't know if it's true or not, but I just ask if we can. All right, thank you so much for the follows and everything. Thank you. And while you guys are tapping, I just want to give you a heads up, you know, just in case, just in case anything weird happens. All right, you can actually go here and go here to get any of the replays that I have on my lives. So all of my replays from February 2nd is located here. If you go ahead and do all 5 of these, that'll be great. It is a free subscription, so don't worry. So I'll do individual things like factoring, adding, subtracting fractions, slope, equation of line, graphing inequalities, all that, as well as doing questions like we do here, which is just general stuff or general algebra stuff to help you with the GED, the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test. Okay? All right, so this is where you can go to get any replays. Just in case you gotta go, I understand. All right? Okay, let's get with our next parts. All right, so if the length of a side of a square is double, thank you so much for the tapping. I appreciate it, guys. If the length of the side of a square is double, what will happen to the area? Will it A, will it double? B, it is multiplied by 4. C, it remains the same. Or D, it increased by 2. So what will happen if the length of the sides of a square is doubled? What will happen to the area? Would the area double as well? Is it being multiplied by 4? Does it remain the same? Or it increase by 2? Yeah. All right, 1974. Hey. All right, Pretty saying B, Sheree saying B, PJ saying D, Apple Saucer, how have you been? It's been a minute. Saying D. Hello, Slim. All right, go ahead, Slim. Pick one. Pick one. Hello, Michael. One side or all sides? Well, it's going to be all of the sides. Okay, so you're saying it will double. Sierra saying C. Sylvia saying, I have no idea. That's okay, Sylvia, because I'm going to break it down in a moment. Gramble saying D. Big G Money saying A. Okay, I see you, D. Tyreek is saying B. Michael, B. Okay, it decreased by 2. Okay, the original on 1. Okay, Chris is saying A. Someone else says A. Ben, B. Sam, B. Chaz, D. Raw Diddy is saying B. Why is your name like that? You know you wrong. You know that was not your original name. Okay? You're saying none of them? All right. Well, let's take a look. Easiest way for me to explain this is actually draw a picture. So let's say if we have a square. Let's pretend that is an actual square. And let's say all 4 of the sides are 2's. Okay, so the area of this square is going to be 2 times 2, which gives me 4. Now, if I were to double, just pretend, because I only have so much space. Okay, again, all the sides are going to be congruent. And if I doubled the side, that means this will be a 4, right? So 4 times 4 is 16. What's happening to the areas? Okay, Ike is saying that, Pretty is saying that, yes. Okay, so your area is actually not being doubled because the double of 4 would have been 8. So that's why that's out. Okay, I can't say it increased by 2 because increasing 4 by 2, that will give me 6. We're dealing with 16, so that is out. And once we increase the sides, doubled it, hey, it's not staying the same. So B is my answer. It's actually being multiplied by 4 because 4 times 4 gives me 16. Well, secret spy, if it's a square and that's being doubled, all the sides have to be the same. Hence, that's the definition of what a square is. It's not just going to be one side. Okay? Okay? If all the sides are 2s, that means all the sides are 4s. If not, you could try it. You can try it with 4 times 2 is 6? No. I'm tired, but never know. So that's a possibility. Okay? All right. So for the next one. Okay. Kathleen has 17 grandchildren. Okay, 5 are girls and the rest are boys. If she randomly selects one grandchild, this is so lovely, what is the probability that it will be a girl? I don't write these. Because how weird is that? Okay, what are you going to do? You're going to put all your grandkids in a bag? Let me randomly select a kid. It's crazy. But here we are. So 17 grandchildren, 5 are girls, the rest are boys. What's the probability that it will be a girl? Is it A, 5/12, B, 7/12, C, 7/17, or D, 5/17? Okay, so we got a whole bunch of D's. Most of them are from Pretty. Okay, I see you, Pretty. Joy, I see you, D. Okay, Gambler, I see you, D. Guessing through. Okay. Math is hard. Okay, Hoodie Guy, I got you. All right, P saying D. Okay, Bed Like Who saying A. Okay. We're saying I am saying D. Chrissy with D. Raw Diddy saying D. Big G Money saying D. All right, so let's take a gander. All right. So we want to know the probability of getting a girl. If we know that 5 out of the 17 grandkids are girls, that's the probability of you getting a girl. 5 out of 17. That's it. Okay. Thank you, Hoodie. All right. So sometimes you can answer these questions real quick. As soon as you answer it, click it, bubble it, circle it, move on. All right. Catherine gets paid for babysitting at a rate of $11 per hour. Last week, she babysat for 6 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Thursday, and 7 hours on Friday. How much money in dollars did she earn last week? Is it A, $176, B, $170, C, $16, or D, $181? Okay. So we got our A's, we got our Roths, we got A's, we got 176 from Dylan, Rhonda saying A, I am saying A. Okay, Love Kiki saying A. Okay, hello, Robert. All right, Philip is saying A. Okay, Christy A. Genesis D. Is that Namar is saying A. Okay, Tootsie A. Gamble A. Ike A. Okay, with taxes like $20. Is this math? Yes, this is math. Okay, Jules, Roxana, okay, all with the A's, yes. All right, so that's what we're doing. So basically, we are just taking, like for the 6 hours on Monday, so that means that's going to be 6 times 11. And then we're going to add that with the 3 times 11. And then we're going to add that with the 7 times 11. So you have your 66, your 33, and your 77. And then when you add all those lovelies up, you get your 176. Okay. Or you could just add all the numbers up and multiply it by 11. I don't know why I did that way. Or you can just add them up and then multiply by 11. All right. Surface area. Okay, sugar. Okay, I'm going to try to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try to do 3 more problems. And then I have to get going. All right, what is the surface area of this figure? So this figure is a rectangular prism. Okay, so rectangular prisms, we're not doing volume, we're doing surface area. Okay. She gets this wrong. Oh my God, so abusive. Okay. All right. So, so surface area. So basically, let's see. Is it A 324 centimeters squared? Is it 66 centimeters square, 41 centimeters square, or 302 centimeters square? So just thinking, okay, just thinking. Which ones can you eliminate? Okay, don't forget about your POE, your PO, okay, process of elimination. All right, so some people are saying the answers are A's. I got a lot for A's. I got a couple for D's. I got a 302 from Riverboat. I have an A for Will. Okay, so we got A's and D's, A's and D's, A's and D's. All right, so right now we all know just by saying J with a K. Okay, yep, C is definitely out and so is B. Okay, because if we're doing surface area, okay, so now we're seeing our D's, okay, all different, shortcut, okay, so let's take a gander. So when you're doing surface area, so it's not volume. This, I'm going to write it in red. This is not what you're going to do. It's not like, oh, it's just length times width times height. No, that's volume. We don't want volume. Okay? No. Okay? Surface area. So basically we're taking the area of this section here. We're taking the area of this section here, and there's like a back end section, like a top end side. But see, there's a top and a bottom, so we have to multiply that. There's a top, there's a side and a side, and then there's a front and a back. So if we're taking the area of each of these, so that means we have our, I'm just going to write it on this paper. We have our 11 times 5 plus 11 times 6 plus 6 times 5. So you pick one of the sides, multiply it to the other two, and you're adding in between. And then the other two that's left over, you multiply them together. But this is only accounting for the 1, 2, 3 sides. So we have to multiply our answer here by 2. Because we have two tops, we have a top and a bottom, we have two sides, and we have a front and a back. So if you have your 55 plus 66 plus 30, and then you're going to multiply this, once you kind of narrow it down, by 2, I know just by looking at this, I have like 110 right here. Just looking at this, I have 132. And then I'll have 60. So if this is giving me 110, that ends in 0. Okay, this gives me, 132? That ends in 2. And 2 and 30, that gives me 60. That ends in 0. So if I look at the ones, okay, if I look at just the ones, I know you guys like to see the whole thing. But if I just calculate the one spot, 0 plus 2 plus 0 will give me 2. This gives me 4s. This gives me 2. That's my answer. Okay? Don't believe me? Good. Calculate it together. So that's 2, 6, and 3. That's 9 plus 1. That's 10. Carry the 1. So then you got 1 plus 2. With the 1 carried will give me 3. So this will just kind of give me a little bit of a shortcut. Just a little bit, but any kind of time saved is time well spent. Yep. Thanks, Jen. All right. So sometimes when you're doing I have to clarify, when you're doing standardized assessments, you do not need to show all of your work. Now, if you're in the classroom, I just want to emphasize, because I know there's some people that are students here. If you're in the classroom, you need to show your work so you can get some partial credit. But when you're taking a standardized test, no, they're not looking at your extra scrap paper. They just want to know, is my answer A, B, C, or D? Okay, the more of the right ones you get, the higher the score is. That's how they see it, okay? All right, so taking a look here, we have 2,685, 1,372, and 9,201. What do you think when you're adding them together? Okay, so I got some D's, They don't care how you do it, Ike. As long as you pick you bubble the right one, that's all they care about. And that's just for the standardized test. Now, in the classroom, they're going to want to see your process, okay? So I have some C's, I have some B's, I have some D's, I have some B's, a whole bunch of D's. All from the same person. Add the last two rows first. We can do that. Okay, so we got some D's and D's and D's and D's and D's. All right, so here's my thing. I'm looking at 5 plus 2 plus 1. That gives me 8. Which ones end in 8? C and D. Boom, boom. Now, taking a look here, I have 2, 1, and 9. That gives me 12. But here's the thing. Over here, I have 6, 3, and 2. That's more than 10. So that means there's going to be a 1 that's going to be carried over here. So instead of a 12, it's going to be a 13. Your answer is D. Okay. Okay. So you can add the ones column to see which one's going to end in the 1, or what's the total of the ones. So we notice they're all into 8. Now, if you wanted to, you could have done 8 and 7, so that's 15. So that will give you a 5 carry over. So then again, there's a 6, there's a 5. Again, that could be your D. Okay, so you see how there's so many different ways of getting the same answer? All right. Okay, let's do one more. I'm going to try to squeeze it on in like me in hot pants. Okay. Don't worry, guys. I'm working on my weight. I'm working on it. All right, so Sandra has $50 for holiday shopping. She buys some quality of the same gifts for $5 each and receives $7 in change. Okay, which expression best represents this? Is it A, 50 minus x equals 7 times 5? B, 50 minus 7x equals 5? C, 50 minus 5x equals 7? Or D, 5x minus 7 equals 50? Okay, we got a C, we got a C, we got a C, we got a couple B's, got C, 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 C. Okay, Fifi with a C, Jay with a C, Gamble with a C, Pretty C, Lee C, Big G Money saying C. Okay, Rano saying B. Okay, Joy C, Eagle C. Okay, one is an A, I think. Marty's saying D. Okay, Cat with a C. All right, so let's take a look. So this is what Sandra has for holiday shopping. Okay, she buys some stuff, some gifts for $5 each, but receives $7 in change. So basically, $50 to start her off with, spend God knows how many gifts, but there were $5 each. So since we don't know how many gifts, that's going to be our unknown. But we know each of those gifts costs $5. So that's 5x. So A is gone, okay? B is gone because it has 7x. Nope. So now we're either C or D. But it can't be D because we're not looking at she got $7 back. So basically, started with 50, spent money, and this is what she gets as a result. So it is going to be C. Okay, so started off with $50, bought how many stuff that was $5 each? 5 and below. Let's just call it what it is, $10 place. And then at the end of all of it, she has $7 and change. Okay, so it is going to be C. All right, it's not going to be A because that's the quickest way to get to jail. It's called scamming. All right. So, everyone, I would love to stay, but I'm telling you, the next couple weeks is going to be cray-cray. But possibly like the week of Christmas, maybe, that weird time between Christmas and New Year's, I will definitely be on a lot more and a lot longer. All right. All right. So, if anything, give me a moment to upload this. Okay, we're going to see if I can do some more. I can definitely tell you I will not be on tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm going to try to come on Thursday around possibly like 3:30. That's when I see like a little glimmer of light. Okay, but if you do, go ahead and go to this channel. Go ahead, type that in. If you want to subscribe, you can go ahead and subscribe. There is a playlist that says TikTok Lives. That's where you can get like all your information. All right. Okay. Can I do 8th grade math? Yes, I can. Can I do geometry? Yes, I can. Can I do calculus? No, I cannot. I know my limitations. All right. So if you do need a tutor, I mean, most of the slots that I do have open right now is Sunday. That's all I have. And I have 3 slots left. So if you want it, go ahead and message me, and then we'll see what take it on. I charge $77 per session, and the session is an hour long. All right. So if you need anything, please do not hesitate to message me, but also tell me what you're messaging. Don't just say hi because I'm going to delete you. Okay. All right. Love you all. Have an amazing day, and I will see you possibly on Thursday. Okay. Bye now.